Today we're going to introduce the statewide test schedule tool from the Maryland State Department of Education, known as MSDE. As a school test coordinator, you should use the schedule tool to post the dates that statewide tests will be administered in your building. This information is useful not only to MSDE so that we can complete our federal peer review process, but it's also needed to keep other stakeholders informed of the statewide tests being administered in your building. The schedule tool can be launched in any web browser at the URL itempra.org/schedule. For convenience, you might want to bookmark this page. This launches the sign-on screen for the schedule tool, which is one of the modules MSDE uses on a platform called iTempra. This platform supports the MCAP, which stands for the Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program, comprised of new assessments developed by Maryland educators. The sign-on page prompts you to enter a school code and a password. The school code must contain your 2-digit LEA number and your 4-digit school number. A list of the LEA and school numbers is available by following the iTempra module login help link in the upper left corner of the sign-in page. This will take you to the page on our support blog that lists the school codes for every school in the system. Just go to that page, find your school on the list, and there's the school code. After entering the school code, the sign-on page asks for a password. The password is only required to make changes in the schedule tool, which is the responsibility of the STC. Contact your LAC if you don't already know the password. The STC should not share the password with anyone else. I'm entering the STC password in order to make changes to a schedule. Our next screen brings us to the current 3-week calendar. There's a reminder on the top to select a test from the navigation bar, which is this black bar on the left side of the screen. You can select any of the 5 tests, so let's select the MCAP ELA Math Spring Administration to demonstrate how to use this tool. When I select that test, the screen changes to show the dates in the statewide testing window for this test. Each district uses only a 30-day window for this test, but the statewide test schedule tool displays the whole window that would apply to the entire state. The first task is to select tests to add from the drop-down list. I'm selecting 3rd grade math, 4th grade math, and 5th grade math for this demonstration. You may also choose make-up testing dates found at the bottom of the list. For each test I select, I'll verify that it has been selected by noting the check mark at the right and the name of the test written on the line at the top. Let's say our school has scheduled these tests on April 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Notice how I can easily add the 3 tests to those 3 days by just clicking on the dates in the calendar. As you can see, I made an error by choosing 5th grade ELA instead of math. Easy enough to fix, which I do just by clicking on the 5th grade ELA test on the 3 days. When I do that, it gets deleted from those dates. Then I go back up to the drop-down list, deselect 5th grade ELA, and select 5th grade math. Finally, I click on the dates of testing once again. Now, suppose our school won't be able to give the 5th grade test on the 25th, but instead has to give it on the 26th. All I have to do is click on the 5th grade math test on the 25th, and that will make it disappear from that date. Then I pick just 5th grade math at the top and add it to the 26th. It is very important that you save the schedule. Once saved, the days you selected for testing are shaded in blue. You may continue to select additional tests from the drop-down list and add them to dates. And again, save the schedule. An optional feature to communicate additional information is available by clicking on the paper pencil notes icon. This feature allows you to enter more specific information about the testing groups. Once you've saved changes for the notes, the little pencil and paper icon will change to an icon that looks like a piece of paper with some writing on it. You can also see notes written right on the calendar by selecting the printable version from the menu in the upper right corner. Finally, and this is very important, always remember to sign out of the schedule tool. Next, let's view your schedule as a critical stakeholder. When a user gets to the sign-on screen, they should enter the same 6-digit school code, but they should leave the password field blank. Then they should choose a test from the navigation bar at the left. They can view the schedule and any notes for the school, but without a password, it's impossible to edit this schedule. Once again, you access the iTempera Statewide Test Schedule tool at itempera.org/schedule. Just a last reminder, please don't share your password with anyone who doesn't need to change your school's testing schedule in the tool.